fans, and welcome to Screaming Titans, the vlog series from Silver Screams about a bunch of girls screaming about Attack on Titan. I'm Megan Salinas.
And I'm Katie Cullen, and I've been told specifically not to scream. I was gonna commit to the bit, but no, we're being professional.
Well, it's funny because actually we put up a poll on Twitter and Talking Titans actually won, but I thought about it and I was like, you know what? We've made a name for ourselves for being a bunch of girls screaming about Attack on Titan.
That's true!
So I figured Screaming Titans was the way to go.
And let's be real, this show is nothing if not a lot of screaming. Internal, external,
So much
other
screaming.
People, fans. Just all the screaming.
And a bunch of girls screaming is my literal favorite hate comment that we ever got on any show.
Did we get that on Titans or did we get that on Voltron?
It was on Titan, actually. That's where it started.
That makes sense. So yes, a bunch of girls screaming.
A bunch of girls screaming.
The more you know.
So anyway, hi there everybody. For those of you just joining us, we'll do a little bit of housekeeping. Today we are talking about episode 56 of the anime, The Basement. Well, it's a big deal. We've been waiting for The Basement for a long time. And on that note, yeah, The Basement gets spirit fingers.
The Basement.
On that note, we are only discussing episode 56 of the anime. If you are looking for a manga comparison discussion, you will have to go elsewhere, I am afraid, because we are talking about the anime only. That means no manga spoilers in the comment section below. We will not be discussing it. Please be courteous. No manga spoilers because we've gotten spoiled for stuff, and I'm honestly flabbergasted that neither of us were spoiled for what was in the basement after all this time.
Also, there are occasionally people who try to be clever about it. Oh, you'll never believe that X, you'll never believe that Y. I had someone who was trying to be clever about spoilers spoil me for the 4th Harry Potter book after I specifically told them I did not want to know who died. So that was a thing. So it's that sort of thing. Like, however clever you think you're being, there are people who can put together the pieces at a glance. And so you are spoiling them. So just don't do it. Just don't. I understand the temptation. It's fun to be clever, but don't ruin it for someone else, because we'll ban you from the fucking channel.
And look, we understand it's exciting when you know things about the series that are going to happen ahead of time before anybody else. We understand. Please be courteous to the people in our comments section. Please be courteous to us. We really appreciate no spoilers. And as Katie was saying, like, please don't be cryptic. Please don't try to be clever. Many years ago, when Game of Thrones was just starting, I was able to figure out the ending of season 1, knowing nothing about the show because I hadn't started watching it yet, simply from the phrase, "There are no honorable men left." I was able to figure out, oh, okay, I know what happens now. I know nothing about the show, and yet I know exactly what happens.
But really, casting Sean Bean is a spoiler.
No, not always.
That's true. I can think of one property I've seen that he hasn't died in.
It happens, like, maybe 2 or 3 times in his entire career. National Treasure, and I think he was, like, the king in, like, one of the
that
sleeping...
weird Snow White.
Snow White, yeah. So that's 2.
It was like this weird Bollywood retelling of Snow White, and it was fun. It was actually
with
fun.
only white people.
Yeah. That was not the fun part.
But anyway, neither here nor there. So point being, no spoilers, please, please, please. And if you do spoil it, we will be very upset with you. So don't do it. Anyway, I think that does it for housekeeping. Those are
like, subscribe, ding, comment, all that fun stuff.
Let us know what...
Put it in the middle because the YouTube algorithm.
Let us know what you think of the title, Screaming Titans. We want to know. Okay, so I want to actually start off this discussion with, because, like, this is the culmination of basically the last couple arcs. The female Titan arc started because they were trying to get back here, and then, you know, basically we've been trying to get to this point ever since...
For a long time.
Yeah, ever since we found out Eren was a Titan, and we concluded that, oh, this key is to the basement, that must be the key behind all of this. So we've postulated a few theories over the years about what we think could be in the basement, and ultimately I concluded that no matter what it was never going to live up to the hype.
I don't remember any of our theories, to be completely honest. Well, I'm just kind of like, basement.
So you weren't like postulating to yourself what you thought it might be?
I just kind of thought like, answers. They're building it up. There has to be some kind of answers. And that is this like nice vague, that could be anything. It could be a Titan making factory. It could be newspapers. It could be anything. But I was just like, answers.
I was expecting, like, the joke theories that we put out there was sex dungeon, because there were a surprising amount of them this season. Sex dungeon, or just that's where he keeps his porn stash, which I'm fairly certain was a VG Cats comic.
I mean, that's just a lower key sex dungeon. You know, that's sex dungeon without the fun. Without the community aspect. That is a one-person sex dungeon.
Anyway,
you heard it here. Your porn stash is a one-person sex dungeon.
Not to kink shame.
Do not put that on a shirt.
Not to kink shame.
Or maybe do. It's up to you. I'm not.
This is a safe space. It's okay. But the what I really thought was going to be down there was, I kind of figured it was going to be a straight up laboratory. Like, we were gonna see like Mewtwo in a test tube,
and like the little curly straws connecting the beakers. There's not really a good word for them. They're curly straws.
I straight up was expecting to see like people in test tubes.
Oh god.
Down there. Like, that's kind of where my mind went. I figured like this was full on, as you said, Titan making laboratory. That's sort of what I envisioned, and obviously that's not what we got. So it'll be interesting to see if what we ended up getting, how that all pans out. So let's go ahead and start from the top of the episode, now that we've thrown out like those thoughts there. So this episode starts with a nightmare. Armin sees a ghastly vision of the colossal Titan.
Okay, but aren't they always?
Yeah, but like,
This
is a little different, because like the skin is off, and you like for half the face, and you see its skull, which is one of those quick shots from the opening. But on the other side, you see it crying. And before he wakes up, I'm looking at this and going, oh shoot, is there like some level of consciousness that's still there? Like, is there some aspect of Bertolt that's still alive in Armin now?
That also means that there's some aspect of Dad that's still alive in Aaron.
I mean, maybe. I mean, if you think about it, the royal family, that whole thing, Aaron is carrying the collective memory of everyone in the royal family inside of him, everybody that this power was passed down from.
That's true.
But he doesn't have access. He doesn't have access to those memories. What if that's how just Titan passing powers works? Maybe that's not something exclusive to the royal family serum. Maybe that's just when Titan powers get passed down, the memories of that person get passed down too.
Let's just add another layer of horror on this series.
I
mean, obviously doesn't have enough.
I mean, kinda. I mean, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
dear. Oh. And the less I think about that, the better. But Armin wakes up, and he's got a little bit of processing to do.
He's got a little bit of amnesia.
Well, because he's like, I remember we were doing a thing, and now I'm here.
Where is everyone else? How'd it go?
Ooh.
So, what you see is what you get, and by what you get, I mean everyone that's left in the Scouting Corps.
The 9 of us. I will say that, like...
And also Flach.
I said... Well, like the 8 of us in Flock, I think. No, I don't know.
And that guy.
And Peggy.
That was the joke. Yeah.
I do want to say that, like, I think for the first couple minutes after he was awake, I said, "Aww," like 5 times, because Aaron like runs up and gives him a hug.
Yeah.
And like Mikasa's like crying, and yeah, there's just a lot of tears and feelings all around.
I love that they put a jacket back on him, even though he no longer has a shirt, so he's just kind of like rocking this weird supermodel look. I kind of love it,
Just
because
really-
it's those little short jackets.
It's
And
like,
dude has abs.
you know what it is? It's the trunks jacket.
It is.
Where it's like the little crop top thing.
He's rocking that model look. It's a weird thing to say about Armin and this show in general.
Just like, way to rock that look, Armin.
I love that we put the jacket back on him, but like nothing else.
Well, he still had his pants, so he's fine.
I mean, we didn't bother trying to find a shirt in any of the intact houses around here.
I mean, to be fair, like, there were also plenty of bodies they could have alluded to.
No, those bodies are donezo. Lot of blood.
Probably not great shirts.
A lot of blood.
Neither here nor there. We get fixated on weird things in this show.
I'm still making Moses jokes. It's been 3 seasons.
We
I
get
have no
really
regrets.
fixated on weird
I have
things.
no regrets.
So, yeah, Armin's, like, taking this all in, and it's gotta be a weird feeling, too, because he's learning not only is it just, like, the 9 of them that made it out of everybody, but that they also chose him over Irvin in terms of, like, who gets to survive this scenario. They picked him, which means that the commander, the guy who was calling all the shots, it's like, well, yeah, we could have saved him, but we picked you instead.
No pressure.
Good luck with that, I guess, and living with that.
But I did love the I can't be Urban, I can't, and Levi going, no one can.
He's
We
like,
all-
of course you can't.
No one can. No one can replace my bestest buddy ever. So we're all just gonna have to live with it and do what we can.
Well, and I like,
Which is,
yeah.
It's certainly a life philosophy, but it's actually pretty damn good. Just like, no, you can never be another person. You can do your best, but you can't ever do someone else's best because there's someone else with a different set of talents and life experiences. You cannot be expected to fit in this mold, regardless of what position you're going into or who you are or what your talent set is. Like, this is like life lessons with Levi.
He's surprisingly good at it. Like, he gives an oddly moving motivational speech, like, that feels oddly validating.
Look, Irvin was his friend.
Yeah.
You don't spend enough, God, words,
You don't spend as much time with somebody without
things rubbing off on them, which is why I'm the co-host on a horror channel.
I'm so proud of you.
Anyway. Are you just gonna stay there?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a pillow. I got it.
Brief intermission.
No,
Coming to you not live and uncut.
oh my goodness. We're about a little loopy. I probably
Dead and uncut.
probably should have started this episode off by saying we're a little loopy today.
I mean, aren't we always?
Not all the time, but
Okay, well,
today definitely.
I am. I also love that part of that was Levi saying, yes, I chose this to be Irvin's final resting place. Cut to a random bed in a random house with Irvin's body with the scout's cloak put over it. Like, you made a decision, that's for sure.
You know, it's funny that you say that all, like, super sarcastic, because I actually thought that was really, like, not necessarily the shot of his dead body, but, like, Levi going, I chose to let him rest.
Oh,
I actually thought
it's
was
the shot
like really
of his
sweet.
dead body that kind of had me going, that's one way to do it.
Would you want them to leave him up on the wall?
No, but the scouts did.
They weren't even on the wall. You wanted him to leave him up on the roof that they were hanging out on?
I was just making Moses jokes. The idea is that if they can, they bring people home. And who knows, they might not be able to. But this is one of those weird, vaguely pragmatic sort of Levi things where you're like, oh yeah, you're not actually a completely socialized person.
I disagree. Like, they're just putting him there. They have an investigation. You again, you were fixating on weird things in this episode.
Do you know me?
I don't think it was weird at all. I don't think it was weird at all. We should cut all of this.
The cat
this isn't
has
a
left
podcast.
us alone now. She is despondent.
She's gonna live in a box.
She's in a box staring into the void right now, just like, I love my cat. She's a weirdo.
Are you awake?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry, this is going to be editing hell.
No, I'm not editing it. This isn't a podcast.
Okay.
I was gonna say, if the expectation was for me to edit around you, I'm sorry, you were gonna be sorely disappointed.
If you were editing around me, I'd get 3 words out. The rest of it is like, I'm sorry, we have standards.
Oh, Lord. So yeah, we get fixated on weird things in this podcast, which isn't
Hello,
a
new
podcast.
people. How are you?
Oh, boy. On this vlog series, that's not a podcast.
Seriously, shout out if you're new. Like, tell us in the comments. Like, hi, this is my first one of your shows. And we'll be like, welcome. I'm so sorry. I'll apologize. She's on point.
Okay. So, but while Levi's oddly good at giving motivational speeches, Hanji's a little bit more blunt. She's like, yeah, no, I totally voted for Armin. Like, that was my vote. I still kind of think it was the right decision. Prove me wrong?
Yeah. Then again, Hanji is also like, my entire squad is dead, and the reason that I am alive is that my favorite sacrificed himself for me. So, fuck all of this. And yeah.
And I'm sorry, I don't remember which pronoun I just used. I think I used she when I should be using they. My apologies. I know that that's not the right one. It's hard because the dub refers to Hanji as a she, and so a lot of times that's where I go, but that is not the correct pronoun. Yeah. It's not hard to use the right pronouns, everybody. It's not difficult, and I'll do better, I'm sorry. But anyway, so yeah, Hanji basically goes, it's kind of a harsh truth, and Armin's kind of already absorbing it anyway, so it's a harsh thing to hear, but she's not, or they're not completely unsympathetic about it. It's one of those things where it's like, well, yeah, but like, you're just gonna have to make the most of it now. Yeah. So, you know, even though it's a harsh thing to say, they're also not being cruel about it. It's like, hey, we work with what we got, so just do your best. This
is the decision that was made, and obviously we're rolling with it. Although I do love that essentially Levi comes back and goes, I told you to tell him the whole story. They fought me? Like a lot?
These 2 knuckleheads. Which was actually really cute.
Like, yeah, they fought me for you. They fought me for you. So, think about that one for a while.
Let me repeat that one more time.
They fought me for you.
Have you met me? I'm amazing.
Have you met me? I'm me.
I'm amazing. And anybody who would try to fight me is insane or a cowboy. One of those 2.
Kenny was insane cowboy. And a cowboy. I was gonna say, that Venn diagram overlap is a circle.
But it was just such a cute thing, as he's giving his motivational speech, the fact that he's like literally grabbing them by the heads and like, you know, tussling them. I know he's giving them a hard
time. And that's very like anime mentor.
Yeah. It was like, well, it's also fun because again, he's related to Mikasa, and to me it felt like an older brother or an older cousin sort of moment, even though it is like a CO sort of situation. And I guess the question is like, who's going to take command of you know, like all 10 scouts that are left? Hanji probably. That definitely seems like a job that Levi doesn't want, but you know what he does want? To see what his friend, you know, he wanted to see his friend's dream through to the end, and that means finding out what's in that friggin' basement. finding out whether or not any of this was worth it at all.
So they leave the injured characters and the side characters on the wall, and they head down to the house.
You, Flock, pink-haired guy, anime hair boy, go do something.
B Squad, y'all stay here, tend the injured people. Armin, you're B Squad right now, just because you've had a hell of a
and
day.
poor Sasha. Poor Sasha too, the entire time she's like sitting here going, it hurts so bad, someone help me.
I'm in pain, I think this is what pain feels like, someone get that girl a potato.
Someone 10 cc's of potato stat.
It's an overplayed joke, but I don't care.
It's an overplayed joke, and one that I'm not tired of yet.
At Anime Expo last year, there was a girl cosplaying as Sasha, and she had like the jacket, the cape, the EDM gear, and then she'd made a dress out of potato pattern fabric. And it is one of the single best things I have ever seen. And that included the two really huge jacked guys cosplaying as All Might and Vegeta, and if you asked them for cosplay photos, they would punch each other.
That's pretty awesome.
It was amazing, but Sasha with potato dress was just like, hi, I love you.
Also, did you call it EDM gear as opposed to ODM gear?
I might have. Sasha's gonna tear up this party.
We fight titans with sick beats.
They're sensitive to sound.
Anyway, so that was the stupidest thing I've ever done, and I'll never do it again. So,
I mean, on camera, maybe.
Definitely the stupidest thing I've ever done on camera. Anyway, this whole episode is we're scrapping this whole vlog. We're starting over. Hello,
no, we're
fans.
not. No, we're not. This is comedy gold.
Opposite of that, I think.
This is comedy potato. Let's continue.
Yes, I think that sounds about.
Please tell me you're going to call this video comedy potato.
No.
Damn it. That's the name of my Stephen Lynch cover band.
Okay, so the basement. The reason we're here.
The memory walk to the basement.
Oh my goodness. This was one of the most moving things, I think, that's been in the show so far. Because, I mean, ultimately, like, everything that's been happening for part 2 of season 3, it's been all action, it's been non-stop, and it's been brutally devastating. But, like, this is the moment where the dust has settled, and we're sitting here going, oh, this is home. This is that place we keep getting flashbacks to. And, like, this is the place where, yeah, they all met. This is where they all used to run through the streets as kids. It's the place. And I love the use of music and sound in this sequence, because we keep editing to shots of them being kids, and the shots in the present, you can't even hear footsteps. Like, it's just the music, and it's just basically letting the visuals speak for themselves.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's, and Johannes. It's, and even just like the little things, like seeing the woman like selling things out of her basket, and then seeing the basket like in pieces on the ground, and it's just a picture is worth 1,000 words. And yeah, we just, with very minimal shots, we get all of the feelings and emotions that they're going through, and how complicated the emotions of nostalgia and being back here is for them.
I'm a little bit of a cynic, not gonna lie. For one, yes, this was absolutely beautiful and very well executed. The other part of me noticed that it's real long, and I'm wondering if some of this wasn't a little bit of padding.
Oh yeah, definitely. No, I have
low budget padding.
I have no doubt that it was padding to an extent. This was a short episode. Granted, we got a little bit in the post-credit that added to the runtime, so maybe it's not actually a short episode, but it felt like a short episode. But
it was not a lot happened in this episode.
But honestly, that's not really a surprise that we would have an episode with a bit of padding in it. We even got the return of the still shot, which we haven't seen for a while.
That's why I made jokes about low budget padding, because it's like, all right, guys, we have like 12 minutes of content and a 22-minute episode, so what are we gonna do here?
Well, the first couple episodes were basically non-stop action with thunder spears and colossal titans running around and armored titans running around and the beast titan playing baseball and
motherfucking Levi
and friggin' Levi and like multiple shots of like horses and people riding on horseback, you know, everything like that, and multiple titan kills. Like, it does not in any way, shape, or form surprise me that this episode has a little bit of padding in it.
Oh, yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I do not mind.
And this is one of those interim episodes where, all right, this arc was completely batshit insane, and goodness knows what we're getting into. So this is one of those connective tissue sort of episodes where it's, all right, we're moving from one beat to the other, we're taking a couple minutes to breathe, we're explaining some things.
We're shifting gears.
We are.
Which means stepping on the brakes a little bit.
And you need episodes like this.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, if we like jumped right into the next thing like immediately without taking a few minutes to just like stop and soak in. Yeah, soak in. It would feel rushed. It would feel too jarring to like not take a proper beat to absorb everything that had just happened. And so eventually they come across the wreckage of their home, which still has the giant boulder in it. And sure enough, they find they have
to move a tiny boulder to get to the basement.
They do. And it's funny because it's like, Aaron, just do your thing. Just do your thing. But
you could wait a minute. He's probably wrecked. That's a waste of a Titan form, and there's no guarantee that there aren't still.
Yeah, and it was this whole thing happened 4 hours ago, so he's probably still tired. But anyway, so yeah, it's been an eventful afternoon, morning, day. It's been an eventful day.
I think it's probably only like 3 p.m.
Yeah.
At the latest.
Yeah, I think everything that happened was in the morning.
Under the cover of darkness, and then there was morning, I assume, coffee, and then maybe it's only like noon.
Oh, man.
Well, this was all fun. Well, when's lunch?
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. But anyway, I did kind of love this next beat where they move the boulder and they go downstairs and he pulls out the key and the key doesn't go to the lock.
It's just one of those like,
it's just one of those things where it's like, you've gotta be kidding me.
I think this is one of the best things they could have done, especially since I have the continued ongoing disbelief that Aaron managed to keep a hold of that key throughout everything he's been through.
I can barely hold on to my car keys and I need those every single day.
So it's just, to me that's hysterical that it's like, it's been here the whole time. Like, how many times have you lost your shirt or whatever doing Titan shifting and it's just been, you know what? Cool. I am perfectly okay with not having to retrace all of our steps to try to find a fucking key as a plot device. Like, I'm okay with that.
Like, that would have, like, in real life, I feel like it would have been dropped somewhere.
I lost that sucker in 5
You know how many
minutes?
times I've lost my work lanyard?
It's one of those things where it's, you know, in terms of suspension of disbelief, I'm willing to extend it.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, it doesn't matter. And again, knowing its significance, I can understand him like actually keeping a hold of it and everything like that. Hi.
Not wearing it on all those missions that aren't specifically meant to go to.
I will say though that like I do think it's kind of hilarious that Bertolt and Reiner didn't steal it when they had like kidnapped him. Like, I don't know about you, I would have been like, and I'm keeping this for... It was very nice of them to allow him to keep it on his person.
Expecting Bertolt and Reiner to have that much forward-thinking...
I don't know.
To have that much planning when they are... This was a pickup game. When they had him kidnapped, it was 100% a pickup game. It was Reiner not being there completely. It was Bertolt going,
screaming
oh
on the
shit,
inside.
I'm to improvise. Like, I'm pretty sure they didn't even think about it because they were too preoccupied going,
because they were too busy going like, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god.
What are we gonna do? And then, you know, when they ran into them again, it was the mission.
Yep.
So, no, that does make sense to me that a couple of panicking teenagers would not think about that.
Wouldn't have thought that far ahead. But, I mean, to their credit, they kept that long con going for a good long while, so good
All
on
you
them.
have to do is just not tell anyone. And then Reiner goes, but what if I told someone? What if I told the protagonist of the shonen series that we happen to be in? What about that guy?
Don't worry, I'll do it in a corner panel where no one will see.
I still, oh my god, I still love that the framing for that happening in the anime matches how the manga did it. Just like in this little tiny corner panel on the seam, so it's, if you're skimming, you'll fucking miss it. So I absolutely love that it's, oh, by the way.
Now, I, like, the camera's, like, literally panning.
The camera's leaving and they're like, and by the way, I'm the Armored Titan. The fuck?
And that is the last manga comparison that we will make because it's in the past.
Right.
Now, no one do anymore. That's the last one for this episode.
Right.
Anyway, so, the key doesn't work, and Levi just kicks in the door. He's like, we don't have time for this. Boom. And it's literally one of the most gratifying things I've ever seen.
It's just one of those like, oh no, the key doesn't work. You know what? Fuck it.
Who cares? Boom. You're wasting time.
Levi is so far beyond done, he can't even see that horizon anymore. So, fuck it.
He's like,
we did not come this far to be stopped by a locked door.
No door can stop me. I'm Levi.
I'm sure nothing can stop him. Have you met me? I'm me.
Just like all those titans couldn't stop me. Do you know how many of them I killed out there? I killed all of them.
I killed so many.
The only two that eluded me were Perry, the platypus titan, and the beast titan.
And the guy that
close.
And the guy that I specifically kept alive because we might need him later. That's the only reason he survived, was that moment of, we need your powers.
Crap.
That's it. The only reason.
And to be fair, that's the only reason Reiner made it out too. But anyways.
That you're more valuable alive than dead, but definitely safer dead than alive.
So they kick down the door, and it looks just like a normal doctor's office. Like, nothing to see here, nothing to see here.
Your father mixes his medicines down there. You can't go down there, it's dangerous. And then we're like, oh, that's just a cover-up. No, that's, cool. That's actually what this is.
But like Levi points out, is like, hey, this is exactly what the military police would expect to see in a doctor's home. Like, so it's too tidy. It's too well put together. It's too obvious.
Honestly, I kind of hope they took some of the drugs back with them.
I hope so too.
Are there painkillers there? Great, let's take them to Sasha.
Yeah, like that's the thing, is like immediately give to Sasha. But like, it sounds like everything else that's in there is pretty widely, readily available. So it's not like some antibiotics that you desperately need that you can't get anymore because only this doctor in Shinganshina had it. It doesn't sound like there was anything down there like that.
But also,
definitely get some.
It's a bottle of ibuprofen on hand. Yes.
Definitely get some painkillers for poor Sasha. Oh, that poor girl.
Oh, hey, we've got morphine? Great.
Get her some painkillers and get her some antibiotics too, because you don't want that, whatever it is, to get infected. That's not great.
Also get her a potato.
Also a potato.
Also get her, or other various snacks, but...
Carbohydrates, for sure, some protein. Definitely some protein.
Bottle of wine.
But, even though it didn't... You don't want to mix that with ibuprofen.
Maybe.
But even though the key didn't open the door to the basement, it definitely does open a drawer in their desk. in the desk. And sure enough, it has a false bottom.
And just Aaron immediately, it's empty. And Levi like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Idiot.
God damn it.
Move, get out of here.
Let the adults handle this.
And we have 3 notebooks. And I went journal number 1, journal number 2, and journal number 3.
Do they have handprints on them?
And if you put them together, they create a blueprint for a portal to another world.
Could you imagine Weirdmageddon versus Titans?
Yeah.
I mean, either way, humanity's fucked, but could you imagine?
Yeah, I can. Now, what I have a harder time imagining is Bill Cipher in the world of Attack on Titan. We'd be so screwed.
I mean, yeah.
It would be so funny, though. Oh, he'd be so out of place.
He's out of place anywhere. He's the
That's very
Illuminati
true.
triangle given sentience and murder.
True story. But anyway, so there are 3 journals, and actually a couple episodes ago, we were talking about the newspaper press, and we were talking about whether or not they had cameras in this world, and the answer is, in our part of the world, inside the walls, no, they do not, and we had some fans that were kind enough to point that out to us, that it's just illustrations. It's actually an important plot point, because one of the things in one of the journals,
The very first thing, front page of the first journal,
is a photograph.
with an explanation of what a photograph is.
Yeah.
Which I love. Like, oh, look at this photograph. Every time I do it, confuses the shit out of me.
Every time I do, it makes me laugh. But it's...
We sacrificed so much for this Nickelback reference.
No! Oh, when you put it like that. Oh, no! I actually don't hate Nickelback. And
Neither do I.
Yeah.
But it's funny.
Yeah, but the, so, like, they don't have cameras, in this section of the wall, but where Grisha came from, they do, and it's a picture of Aaron's father as a child and his family, it seems. And yeah, there's an explanation of what a photograph is. It's too detailed to be drawn by hand. And then we get our credits, and then we get a post-credit scene, which we don't really get.
Well, we also get don't we also get the return to, like, they show back up, like, hey, the scouting corps is back. We do get that moment.
Yeah, we do. Which I guess it's you know what? Seeing Flegel was real.
Flegel!
that was kind of a beautiful moment.
That bastard grew on me so hard. And also the newspaper guy.
Yeah, the newspaper guy. And we got our weird council.
Who are definitely telling the dude that you are enjoying your sex dungeon way too much.
Maybe dial it back a couple notches there, Darius.
I know when to quit.
Do you though?
I can quit anytime I want, and I don't want to.
But they're talking about Irvin, and it's like, oh man, the entire time this whole council scene is going on, I'm sitting here going,
do whatever you want. He's super dead.
Yeah. But yeah.
And then roll credits.
They made it back. They've got the journals with them. Roll credits, and then we cut to what we can only assume is the contents of the journal, where it's Grisha's upbringing, and it looks like they are in not necessarily their own series of walls, but definitely a place where they're not supposed to leave. And there are Zeppelins.
Look, there's really no way to discuss this without going for the parallels. It looks for all the world like they're in a ghetto. Especially because, and not like modern definition of ghetto, like World War II definition of ghetto. Especially with the whole, you're not allowed to go outside without your armbands bit. Like, you can't not with the parallels here. It's, I get the feeling next episode's going to be real uncomfortable.
It's exceedingly overt. Yeah, the parallels to Nazi Germany are clearly there, and it's clearly meant to make us uncomfortable.
And again, no spoilers, don't say anything, and for the love of God, be civil in the comments. Okay? Because this is some rough territory here.
I I have a feeling we're going to be talking about Nazis coming up fairly soon.
Probably.
So yeah.
You can't not.
And so that means we're going to be delving into some very sensitive material in the upcoming episodes. So yeah, this is a good place to go ahead and say in advance, keep the comments civil, and if there are any Nazis in the comments section, you're gonna be gone. Bye. You say anything hateful, you're gone. I don't care. I don't care. You're just gonna be gone. I will disable comments if I have to.
I hope it doesn't get to that.
I hope it doesn't get to that.
Y'all tend to be pretty chill, fun human beings who are good at following directions.
You guys are great, but
we super appreciate that.
Some people are just the type of people to ruin it for everybody. So if it comes to that, I will disable comments, but I don't think it'll come to that. And I hope that the discussions in the upcoming episodes can be civil, but I have a feeling we're going to be delving into some very uncomfortable subject matter very, very soon.
So, that's probably where this is headed.
I'm going to be honest, I kind of wasn't expecting, and yet I feel like we should have anticipated, given everything leading up to this point. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Here we are.
And I'm gonna head this off at the pass. We've heard the conversation about the creator and what he may or may not believe and may or may not support. We don't want to have that conversation in the comments. Especially since, again, we are unspoiled and therefore cannot judge the greater context of the work yet. Not without what I imagine are some huge spoilers. So, again, keep it out of the comments. We're keeping it simple. We're not talking spoilers. We've heard about that. We don't have the context to form our own opinions yet, so...
And of course, when we get to that point, we will discuss it as respectfully and candidly as we can.
Yes. We'll drink afterwards.
We'll drink afterwards, for sure. That being said, you know, to get back to what we're presented with here, Grisha appears to have a little sister, and this appears to be the inciting incident where he learns that the world is not necessarily what he thinks it is.
Yeah.
And the fact that there are Zeppelins, and maybe I'm making an assumption here by saying that, because we knew there were other walls out there because of Ymir.
Yeah.
It's entirely possible that this is another subset of a different set of walls. And if that's the case, if Zeppelin technology is possible, which again makes sense since Armin's parents were able to
make
create
a hot air balloon.
It's interesting to think that people on other walls can hop into the air and kind of keep an eye on certain things. Like, that's an interesting possibility, is that there are people out there who can be like, okay, let's go check on that wall. Oh, let's go check on that wall. Okay, cool,
and
cool,
also that this was Zeppelin technology, I'm going to say 30, 40 years into this world's past.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we don't know how old Grisha was when he showed up. We don't know how old he was when he died. So I'm kind of going like, you know, Aaron's a teenager, and he was like 10-ish.
Early mid-40s is probably a good guess.
Yes. Yeah, so this is 40 some odd years, presumably, into this world's past. We're seeing a higher level of technology and architecture, I would say, than we currently have in the walls that we've seen. So, definite credence to... Here's the thing, I can't make the parallel I want to make without spoiling a different anime series that you haven't seen. So, that I actually do want you to see because I enjoy it. So
okay.
Yeah, maybe I'll throw it in the comments or tweet me if you want to know what I'm talking about. But if you are a fan of anime series that have Crispin Freeman voicing one of the main characters, which I realize, you know, narrows it down so much.
Oh, I love that. I love those things.
We need to watch this.
What show is it? I'm so interested.
Again, I don't know if I can say it without spoiling it, given the narrative bent that we're on.
I kind of thought you were leaning more towards Full Metal Alchemist, because that is also kind of a steampunk world where, you know, more advanced technology than what we're seeing in Attack on Titan is readily available, but it's still World War II era technology, sort of.
Oh yeah, I was thinking more in terms of Scrap Princess. So,
oh yeah, I know nothing about that series.
Which you haven't seen, which I remember it being good, but it's been a chunk of time since I watched it, so I need to get my hands on it and see if my memory is...
I know nothing
solid.
About it.
But for those of you who have seen it, you can kind of see where I'm going here. So...
Feel free to be as clever as you want with comments about that series, because I know nothing about it.
Don't you fucking dare. Don't you dare. That is a series that should be experienced without spoilers.
Is it that good?
Just let me... I remember it being that good, is the thing. I need to go back because that was like 15 years ago.
I was going to say, it's 1,000,000 years old. Has the statute of limitations passed?
I watched it in high school. So
that was 1,000,000 years ago.
Wow. Wow. Okay, I'm leaving.
It's okay, we're both old. It's fine.
Neither of us are old. You shut up.
Anyway,
just let me know if you get the reference. That's all you need to say is, I understood that reference. Maybe even post a Captain America gif if you're able to post gifs in YouTube comments. I doubt it. But there's always, just let me know if you're speaking my language. Don't fucking spoil anything.
Okay, so we should probably give our final thoughts on this episode, because what's in the basement is a big deal,
and now that mystery is solved.
I guess the question is, I postulated at the top of the episode, like, that I thought that there was no way what was in the basement could actually live up to the hype after multiple years of waiting for it. Do you think it lived up to the hype?
Considering that What's in the Basement seems to be a flashback episode, potentially giving us some answers, yes.
Okay. I still don't know how I feel about it. Like, it all kind of depends on how this next flashback episode pans out. Journals is not too surprising. But I will say that I was expecting a full-on laboratory, and it wasn't there. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. So, in some ways, I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But, like, seeing the flashback, I'm like, oh. So
I don't know. We have journals detailing what is presumably outside the wall. Grisha was probably faking being an amnesiac.
Maybe. We actually had somebody postulate that theory in our comments section for the last episode. So I'm sorry I don't have your name pulled up at the ready, but
that guy.
Good theory if that's the case. If that ends up being the case in the next episode, yeah, good job. Or maybe he did suffer amnesia, but he had written the journals ahead of time and kept them on his person, so that the first time he like wanders into the walls and then goes, oh look, I've got books. Oh.
It's me!
It me!
It me!
So it's like, here's, like, he might have known he was gonna get amnesia, and so he's like, here's everything you need to know about your mission, or whatever it is.
Once you go into that area of effect, you're fucked.
I mean, maybe. Yeah, who knows? But yeah, long story short, this, I don't know if it lived up to the hype. We'll have to wait and see for that, but ultimately, this is definitely a turning point for the series. And, yeah, final thoughts on this episode.
Like I said, it was a connective tissue episode. We really needed it, and I am excited to see our flashback world building, probably going to be hella uncomfortable episode, because I want answers.
I want answers too.
We might get several flashback world building hella uncomfortable episodes, depending on how much detail they go into. We just don't know. They wrapped up Emir's in one, but Emir's continue to be like, here's some answers. Here are more questions.
We don't know how many sets of walls are out there. And I do think it would be fascinating to see the microcosms that pop up and how different they all are. And, of course, the underlying similarities. Which it'll be interesting if we get to see what's behind multiple walls. But I don't know. Like I said, this next one looks like it's going to be really uncomfortable. And so I'm just sort of getting ready to brace myself. That's all.
Yeah. Brace yourselves. Flashbacks are coming.
So yeah, guys, let us know what you thought. Do you guys think the basement lived up to the hype?
What were your weird-ass theories about what the basement was before we learned the answer?
I definitely want to hear what your theories were for sure. Yeah, that's a good one. And so, yeah, let us know what you thought of this episode. Sorry, we were kind of like all over the place
I apologize
this
for
evening.
nothing.
I apologize for everything.
No.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Katie, where can people go if they want to find you?
You can follow me all over the social medias as well as on YouTube and Twitch at Kiaxet. That is Kiaxet. If you like reactions to non-horror things, they live on that YouTube channel. Also, I am on an Overwatch and Overwatch League podcast called On the Point. So follow that. We might be on a hiatus right now because one of the hosts is on hiatus and I haven't really picked up that ball, but guys, the Overwatch League news has been bonkers this week. So we'll definitely be talking about that when we come back.
And I'm Megan. You guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at the Menguin. That's TheMenguin. I also do a Lost retrospective podcast called No Love Lost, where my co-host Will Link loves Lost, and I don't, and we discuss. And of course, if you want to hear us talk about Rooster Teeth related shows, you guys can hop on over to Anchor, over to Rooster Team Radio, where we cover a bunch of Rooster Teeth related properties, including we've got our show Gen Lockdown, we've got Camp Counselor's Corner that's going on right now, RVB Recall just wrapped up. We have a few Ruby Reduxes in there, and of course our Night Vale Welcome to Vale. Welcome to Vale. Night
Ruby
Vale
in the
Ruby
style of
crossover.
Yeah.
Those were words that I tried to put together and it didn't work. But yeah, go check those out. I'm very fond of Welcome to Vale.
It's fun.
Go check that out. It's a lot of fun. And again, just thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you on the next episode of Screaming Titans. See you then.